I am the largest antiquarian chess bookseller in the world.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
have
I
over two.
noticed that on your website that that chess was a big thing.
Yeah,
Are you
we have over 2,000 volumes in chess,
wow.
and have and we one of the areas we do a lot of ephemera in, score sheets, signed stuff,
Yeah.
um, by chess players like Bobby Fischer.
So here's the big question, Mike. Have you played Ron Cozy, who is also an ABA member?
Actually, Ron and I shared a booth at the Florida Fair. Actually, we shared the alcove at the Florida
Oh,
Fair one year. And
okay.
Ron and I in fact, he was one of my sponsors when I became an ABA
Yeah.
member.
Well,
And
he sponsored a lot of people.
and he and I talked chess the whole time. And he kept telling him about this collection that I'd still like to buy from him.
Yeah, Ron's an old buddy of mine. Not just old, but he is a long time old buddy of mine. And he did. You know this story, I'm sure, but I have to tell it because whenever the word chess comes up, it deserves this story. Ron played Bobby Fischer.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Rare Book Cafe Coffee Break Edition. Joining me today is my co-host, Richard Mori of Mori Rare Books in Nashua, New Hampshire. Hello, Richard. It's good to have you with us today.
Well, hello, Lee. It's so good to see you again. I haven't seen you the last time we talked.
That's right, 30 minutes ago.
So I want to just make sure everybody knows that you're Linn from Calhoun, Georgia, the owner and proprietor and great bookseller of The Ridge Books.
Thank you. That's right. We were talking before we went online about how long we've been doing this, and I'm about 25, 26 years now. And it being only 29 years old, that's a pretty good record.
It sure is.
Joining us today is Michael Utt, the book collector in Fort Worth, who will be telling us about their plans for a book fair in Dallas, which is perhaps maybe a little unusual format that they are starting. Mike, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I have heard about you and your. I've actually attended the Florida Book Fair a number of years. Actually, I always got a full alcove when I did it.
That's a nice, yes. Richard has one of those.
I do. They're getting harder to get, Mike. So just so you know.
Yeah. I'm out.
I got lucky.
Yeah. So tell us about what's going on in Dallas and when it's going to be and what our viewers need to know about it.
Okay. Well, the Texas Booksellers Association performs or supports three major fairs in Texas: the Houston Fair, the Fort Worth Fair, and the new one, which will be this year in Dallas. It'll be in June, and it's limited to 75 exhibitors, 50 of which will be ABA members, and the other 25 will be members of the TBA, and anybody can join the TBA.
Even if you're not in Texas?
Even if you're not
Okay.
in Texas. Yeah, we have a number of members like First Folio, Dennis Millhouse is members. And so there are a number of members nationwide.
Okay.
And this fair is basically a combination. It's taken us about 3 years to get this thing organized. And we are partnering with also a company called Half Price Books. Some of you may be familiar with it. They have 120 stores nationwide, and it's going to be at their venue. They're partnering with us on this, And they will be promoting the fair in all 120 stores with flyers and bookmarks about the fair. In addition, one of our other sponsors is the Southwest chapter of the ABAA, and they will be promoting it, of course, among their members. And then our third sponsor is the auction house, Potter and Potter, and they will be emailing to all of their clients about the fair. So it'll be a fairly broad selection, as well as the ABAA is going to be emailing all their special collections librarians about the fair, so that they'll be able to attend, and they will get free tickets. And the fair will be a 3-day event. It'll be Friday evening from 5 to 8, which will be the preview night, and that'll be a $20 entry fee, which will be good for all 3 days. The fair then will be open to the general public a Saturday and Sunday for a $10 entry fee. This will hopefully create an interest among some of those people who may have become booksellers but weren't familiar with the ABAA, as well as booksellers who might have an interest in becoming members of the ABA. This will allow them to work with the ABA members who will be attending as exhibitors at the show, and potentially get sponsors if they have a desire to go in that direction. It is mainly an antiquarian fair, and Texas has a deep overall pocket of really rare book collectors. Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, and Houston have a lot of serious collectors, as well as the special collections librarians in this area, which always attend our fairs, like at SMU, the University of Texas at Arlington, Texas A&M, University of Texas, University of North Texas, and TCU are among some of those. University of Houston, especially some of the museums also have great book collections, like the Amon Carter, and some of the museums in Houston and Austin as well. And so many of their participants attend the fair. So we got a good broad spectrum of buyers for the fair. And in the past, our last fair, which we partnered with Half Price, which was in Fort Worth in August, we had just from the Half Price support locally, we had over 1,000 people come through the gate.
Wow.
So that's not
good.
a bad fair. And we anticipate Dallas to be even stronger because of the nature of the animal.
Yeah.
And
so Mike, I know you were kind of the spearhead of this idea. Am I correct?
Yeah, I reached out to the ABA about 3 years ago, saying we would probably be ready for an ABA fair in about 8 years, and they basically said, "Is there something we could do sooner?" And I said, "Well, we could build this hybrid fair." And in the discussion, they wanted several things, which was to open up a fair that would be accessible to ABA dealers who can't afford to go to Boston or New York, California.
Right.
Plus, they didn't have a fair in the heart of the country. And this would give them an opportunity to partner with us, not necessarily be a sponsor, but a partner with us, because they have limitations on what they can do with their fair. So we aren't being charged the ABA fees that would normally be associated with a fair. So we can do a full booth at our fair is going to be around $900, which is very reasonable in considering what the ABA normally would charge for a fair. In addition, we'll have we'll have dealers will be able to get 1, 2, or a full booth of 3 tables, and and we have 12 what we call storefronts, which are similar to alcoves of the people who do the Florida Fair, but they're enclosed. So this gives a little bit of privacy to the exhibitor as well as the buyer, and this allows them to maybe do a little more informal exchange. And it's a little bit larger than a booth, and that'll be $1,200, and those probably will go pretty fast. We also have partnered with the people who do the California Fair for glass cases, so any booksellers who don't want to bring all the material they need to set up can get glass cases. Half Price will also be providing at a cost foldable bookcases if any dealers want that to set up.
So that if you were shipping your books and
yes,
that would be
yeah. If you want to ship the books, Half Price has a secure place that they'll be in the venue, which is where the fair is going to be, to hold the books and or their the stuff that's shipped. And when they set up, they'll just bring that material to their booth, and so when they come in, they can just go straight and start display.
This facility at Half Price must be extremely large. It sounds.
It is. It actually is a building that they bought. It's approximately 10 minutes from Dallas Fort Worth Airport, and it used to be an old antiquarian car lot dealership. And so as you walk in, they have the front end of one of the old, I think it's a Ford from the 50s, as part of their display.
Exhibit,
so
yeah.
it kind of fits in with the antiquarian aspects of books, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I had to tell you, I actually did a fair in Texas about 30 years, well, not a little less than 30 years ago in Austin. Were you there?
I might have been there. That was before the Texas Bookseller Association took over all the fairs.
I think so.
And yeah, and that was actually, I think, my second fair that I ever did.
Yeah. Well, I did it with a friend of mine, Lois Harvey, who Westside Books in Denver, Colorado. Her and I flew in and did that fair. We had a wonderful time and stayed even an extra day because we enjoyed Austin so much.
Yeah, Austin is a great place, and we're hoping eventually to get a fair going in Austin, but finding the venue is difficult.
If our listeners or viewers want to find out more about the fair or interested in being an exhibitor, where should they go for information?
Yeah, just Google Texas Booksellers Association, and it'll come up to our website, and it'll have the listing of all the fairs and how to do it. We're in the process of building a new website, which is just focused on the fairs, sort of modeled after the Florida website, which is a wonderful website. And once it'll be up, we'll have a link from the Texas Booksellers Association to the fair.
And
so closer
to time for your fair, we'd love to have you back on, maybe to bring a dealer or two to tell us some of the things that they're bringing to the fair.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, we could certainly plan to do that. Sometime late in May, perhaps.
So we've given everybody the big tease here, but the one thing we don't know yet is, when is this fair?
It's the weekend of the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of June.
Okay.
And as I say, setup would be both Thursday and Friday, so the booksellers can come who want to fly in early or want to come in early. They can set up on a Thursday, and it'll be Friday from 10 to 5 for setup, and then open up for the preview night at 5 o'clock on Friday.
Okay. And while we still have a couple of minutes left, tell us a little bit about your business, the Book Collector.
Well, I started in 1995 on the internet as a book collector before I became a business, the Book Collector, and I specialize in exploration and voyages because I got my degree at the University of Texas in Latin American Studies, majoring in history and anthropology. So I do a lot of anthropology, mainly Latin America, some literature, mainly authors I happen to like. And then I am the largest antiquarian chess bookseller in the world.
Yeah,
We have
I
over
noticed that on your website that that chess was a big thing.
Yeah, we have over 2,000 volumes in chess,
Wow.
and have and we one of the areas we do a lot of ephemera in, score sheets, signed stuff,
Yeah.
by chess players like Bobby Fischer.
So here's the big question, Mike. Have you played Ron Cozy, who is also an ABA member?
Actually, Ron and I shared a booth at the Florida Fair. Actually, we shared the alcove at the Florida Fair one year.
Okay.
Ron and I in fact, he was one of my sponsors when I became an ABA member.
Yeah. Well, he sponsored a lot of people.
And he and I talked chess the whole time, and he kept telling him about this collection that I'd still like to buy from him.
Yeah, Ron's an old buddy of mine, not just old, but he is a long time old buddy of mine. And he did, this story, I'm sure, but I have to tell it because whenever the word chess comes up, it deserves this story. Ron played Bobby Fischer one time.
Yeah, he was telling me about that.
Yeah, I knew you would know, but he's a great guy, wonderful chess player, and I'm glad that's a nice little niche you have.
Well, it is, and I was on the University of Texas chess team when I was a student there, and I'm also a member of the Chess Collector Society of the World, and which is a small group of major chess buyers. So, anyhow, it's.
You gonna show us something?
No. I was interrupted with a phone call. I hate phones when we're
talking. Well, good.
We appreciate you taking time out today to be with us, and look forward to having you back.
Well, I'd say I would love to come back, and as we get deeper into the fair, maybe talk some more about that, as well as the Fort Worth Fair, which will be in September.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Remember the Florida Book Fair coming up March 1st and 2nd. And remember our bookseller and book collector friends in LA who have been so severely impacted by the fires. You probably realize by now that the ABAA show in Los Angeles has been canceled due to this. If you get a chance to go on their site and support their benevolent fund, and keep all of these folks in your thoughts and prayers. And thank you so much again for being with us today, Richard and Mike. And we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Nice to meet you again, Mike.
Well, pleasure.